Hello, YouTube. There is a hypothesis of a global cataclysm, the hypothesis of a gigantic mud flow, or I should say mud flood, that impacted the world several centuries ago. Some people believe it really happened. And there is one example that goes with it, and it has to do with pearls. Something about the pearls as such. Pearls were the first gems discovered by man thousands of years ago. And since that time, people of various cultures have recognized the beauty and the value of pearls. Pearls are the only organic gems and require no processing to reveal their natural beauty. At first, people relied on the chance finding of natural pearls in a variety of species of marine bivalves and freshwater mussels. Natural pearls are rare, as perhaps maybe 1 in 2,000 pearl or oysters contain a natural pearl. Natural pearls are formed when the pearl oyster reacts to an irritant by coating it with nacre, the shiny, iridescent material found on the inner surface of the shell. Natural pearls are usually small, of various colors and irregular in shape. Pearl oysters are most commonly found in tropical areas. Now, the preferred water temperature for pearl cultivation ranges from 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, 10 to 34 degrees Celsius in rare cases, and 20 to 29.5 degrees Celsius. Now, let's recall that the pearl mining in Russia and Germany, which indicates a radically different climate before that global catastrophe or disaster. Our science, and I mean global science, is based on the principle I see here, I don't see there. The fact that is not a fact, what is convenient is I see, what is convenient is fact, but everything else is unconfirmed hypothesis. Mikhail Vasilyevich Lomonosov was a Russian polymath, scientist, and writer who made important contributions to literature, education, and science. Among his discoveries were the atmosphere of Venus and the laws of conservation of mass in chemical reactions. His areas of science, spheres of science, were natural science, chemistry, physics, mineralogy, history, art, philology, optical devices, and others. The founder of modern geology, Lomonosov, was also a poet and influenced the formation of modern Russian literary language. So is Lomonosov a great Russian scientist? Oh yeah. Happening, groovy cat, and a very educated dude, to put it in a more modern language. And science screams about it at every corner, citing convenient excerpts from his works, while completely ignoring the inconvenient ones. Lomonosov, in his works of mineralogy, metallurgy, and mining, wrote that in the north of the Kola Peninsula, natural pearls were mined. He provided a detailed description indicating the maturity period of 3 years. In addition, pearls were mined in Germany, in a river near Regensburg. The climate has recently been completely different, much warmer. When the temperature changes by only 2 degrees, the mollusk begins to produce a weak acid, which instantly corrodes the top layer of the pearl. It becomes cloudy and completely loses its luster. A sharp temperature change of at least 2 degrees destroys shellfish, and capricious pearls ripen only at temperatures above 20 degrees, at least according to some. I think 18 degrees Celsius is acceptable, but That's my opinion. So, what is the current climate in the north of the Kola Peninsula? By the way, for those who did not study it in school, the Kola Peninsula, which I mentioned in a number of my videos because it's full of paranormal mysteries and phenomena, is a peninsula located mostly in northwest Russia and partly in Finland and Norway. The average temperature in January is about minus 10 degrees Celsius, with lower temperatures typical in the central parts of the peninsula. The average temperature in July is about 11 degrees Celsius. Record lows reach minus 50 degrees Celsius in the central parts and minus 35 to minus 40 degrees Celsius on the coasts. And in the 18th century, it was about 20 degrees Celsius all year round. The great Russian scientist wrote about the extraction of huge quantities of natural pearls under the Kola, in Karelia, and in Germany near Regensburg. In Regensburg, pearls generally lay like a carpet in the river. Nowadays, the water temperature in the Donau at the Regensburg Pfaffenstein measurement site has a mean of 12.3 degrees Celsius. Commercial pearl mining took place before 1787, at least from 1765, that is, for at least 20 to 30 years. Pearl mining in the Baltic states was also reported. By the way, in Russia, all northern pearls were called Novgorod pearls. There was this historic city I mentioned in my other videos. Proud city of Russian freedom and democracy, crushed by the troops of Ivan the Terrible. Novgorod pearls are not small and good and pure. They were mined from our sovereign in the land on the Dvina, on the Kolmogorov, and in Veliki Novgorod, Novgorod the Great, in the rivers, wrote, quoting Karamzin, archaeologist, and historian Pavel Savaitov in his 1896 work. From the Dvina land, from the shores of the rivers, Varzugi and Panoi turned out to be the so-called Novgorod pearls, according to Alexander Kizaveter, a researcher of the Russian North, in 1919. Yes, sir, those Danish Germans have the visitors' town of Vargav, now Varde in Norway, on a drag. On the sea, on an island, and by the way, sir, those Germans do not let your sovereigns, all sorts of people, pass in ships, in small and in boats, to the Shadow River, the Tana River on the border of Norway and Finland today, to do fishing. And that, my lord, is your sovereign's fatherland's Shadow River. And that, my lord, the river of the Shadow Mouth, fell into the seas beyond their town, beyond Vargav. And in that river, my lord, fishing and pearls. Do order, my lord, to let your sovereign people pass by their town Vargav in ships and in boats with supplies on the Shadow River to fish, catch fish, and dig pearls, wrote in a complaint in the year of 1559 to Ivan the Terrible, the sovereign's tribute collector named Yefim Anisimov. And you don't know what to be more surprised at. The fact that the now foreign places to the Russians are called in his petition the sovereign's fatherland, or the idea that you can catch fish and dig pearls there. In the north, yo-mayo, Russian speakers will know what I mean. Pearls were mined so much that they were even taxed. In the legends of the northern people, there is even a description of the reasons why the pearls disappeared. Yes, the description is in the style of a legend, But if you take it as a description of a cataclysm, then everything is very specific and quite understandable. The dark whirlwind is a fearsome hero, all made of wind and ice, dark and shaggy, imprisoned, a pearl princess in a rock. That's why there have been no pearls in our rivers for many years. Ivanko, the young one, defeated the whirlwind and freed the princess. Since then, pearls have been found in our rivers again. The global cataclysm has led to global climate change, to global cooling. Interestingly, thanks to Ivanko, the young one, the climate warmed up again and pearls were mined again. But soon the dark whirlwind returned and now changed the climate forever, which led to the disappearance of the pearl fishery. We, researchers of the obscure pages of history, know that in the pre-Peter the Great's Russia, a huge amount of pearls were used. It was the most common and favorite decoration. Everyone wore it, from peasants to czars, Russia's kings, to put it plainly. A great many pearls were used to decorate church items, clothing, and shoes. Jacques Margeret, a foreign officer who joined the Russian service at the beginning of the 17th century, recorded that he observed in the treasury royal dresses entirely embroidered with pearls, as well as dresses covered with pearl embroidery for a foot, half a foot, 4 fingers. He was greatly amazed by half a dozen royal bedspreads, completely embroidered with pearls. Pearls were used more in Russia than in the whole of Europe, stated Johann Philipp Kilburger, a participant in the Swedish embassy in Moscow in 1674. Another foreign spy, no doubt. In general, pearls were everywhere. In 1611, after capturing the Russian Kremlin, the Poles, those invaders from Poland, had fun shooting large pearls from muskets, and in the year 1648, during the Salt riots, its participants tore precious stones and pearls from the ornaments of icons, crushed them into powder, and threw them out of the window, shouting, "This is our blood." The Moscow uprising of 1648, Solyanoy Bunt in Russian, sometimes known as the Salt Riot, started because the government's replacement of different taxes with a universal salt tax for the purpose of replenishing the state treasury after the time of troubles. This drove up the price of salt, leading to violent riots in the streets of Moscow. So let it be a warning to those sovereigns who create inflation and raise taxes wherever they rule. History, ladies and gentlemen, is not always what you find in textbooks, and climate changes apparently took place throughout the history of the world. We hope that the dark whirlwind does not come back. Remember, freezing weather is not good for agriculture. And this is what I wanted to let you know today, and I will bring you more stories from the obscure pages of the world's greatest in size nation with very, very interesting, gripping, sometimes macabre history. If you like my research, you can support me, please, through the links you find in the description to this video. Please like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.